Hello, Erin here. Welcome to my cozy little corner of the internet. I'm excited because I have my new Stampin' Up goodies here, and I'm going to unbox it with you and show you what I got. These are from the 2025 annual catalog. I had to make sure that wasn't upside down because that's typically how I would pick that up. Anyway, I've ordered some. Not everything was available. So there's a paper pack in here that I am very excited about. Like, can't wait to get my hands on it. And I don't have it yet because it wasn't part of the pre-order, but I want to share with you what I got and kind of like my different ideas on how I plan on using these items. I'm going to pull everything out and bring it in kind of how it would make sense in groups. So these are the new in colors. Every year they introduce new in colors, and these are quite beautiful. Now you'll notice there's 5 different papers and 5 markers, but only 4 ink pads. I'm going to explain about that in just a moment. But we have, let's look at the colors here. So Strawberry Slush, which is this fun pink color right here. And I guess this was a color originally with Stampin' Up, and they've brought it back. So I know I've been hearing demonstrators that have been with Stampin' Up for a long time are super excited. They love that color. So then we have Secret Sea. I am very excited about this one. My close to my heart fans, if you had the color Harbor, this kind of jives with that color family. It's a little bit deeper, but really, really beautiful. I think Secret Sea is the perfect name for this. So excited about that color. I love my masculine blue tones. So then we have Timid Tiger, so very appropriately named. We got a little orange here, and that makes me think of a tiger, so the names are always kind of fun. Darling Duckling, a little yellow duckling color, great for spring, right? And then this one is called Cloud Cover, which is beautiful. It's a blue gray. It's kind of funny. So it's blue, but it has a strong gray undertone. Grays are funny. Grays can be blue or they can be green. This is definitely a beautiful light blue color. And the reason we don't have the ink pad is because it wasn't stamping out true to color. So they have pulled that and they're trying to get it corrected. And hopefully they will. I cannot open that, so I'm not going to struggle with it. But for now, you can get the marker and the paper, everything in the cloud cover color. Say that 10 times fast, just not the ink pad. So I got the Stampin' Right markers. These are a water-based marker, so they have a brush tip on one end and a bullet tip on the other. They're great for coloring on stamps. You can color on the stamps and actually get multicolored images with these, and you can use them for calligraphy with that brush tip. All sorts of fun lettering you can do with these, and they match the ink. So you can color with them too. So I do like to use those for coloring in my tiny stamped images where you're working in really intricate areas. Those are nice to have because they have that fine bullet tip on there. So beautiful in colors. I'd love to hear which one's your favorite. Like I said, Secret Sea's got my vote. I just love that. Now, some of these items are in the annual catalog, and some of them that I'm going to show you are online exclusives that will launch at the same time. So this is in the annual catalog, and this is called Turtley Cute. So there's 2 pages of each. Let me grab the little... let me get this out of here. That tells you what colors are in there and whatnot. So if you like turtles, and this is like they're fun and playful turtles. So again, 2 of each. These guys I could hang out with. They're doing things that I enjoy. This one's bird watching and gardening. This one's a beekeeper. They're super cute. I like these little turtles, but that's not why I bought this paper. Wait till I show you the opposite side. So again, super cute little turtles. These guys are doing beach activities, barbecuing. We've got turtles playing musical instruments. These turtles are celebrating birthdays. They've got gifts and cakes and ice cream and balloons. And then there's a cut apart sheet with different fun. You could, put the turtles. There's a stamp set and everything that coordinates with this collection, which I did not get because these guys are adorable, but I probably won't be using the turtles. But what I will be doing is using the opposite side. So let me tell you my thoughts for these. These particular papers right here, we've got the polka dots, the music notes, and the diagonal stripe. let me see, this guy goes over there. These are perfect for Disneyland photos. I do have some Disney papers. These colors and the feel of these are going to be great for my Disney photos. So that's why what I plan to do with those. And then this is awesome. This is really awesome. Check out that super cool pattern there with turtle shells. So you have that, and then you have a stripe that coordinates with it, and then you have this, which could be little turtle shells, or they could just be like little pebble type things too. That's what they remind me of. And these are going to be awesome for tropical adventures, beach pictures. Yeah, I've got big plans for this one. And in fact, I bought a second pack of the woven textures. I've been loving this. I've been using this a ton, mixing it in with different paper collections. So this is my second pack, but how cool would that be? Can you see like a tropical beach page with those? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So that's what I plan to do with these. The woven textures are already out. Those were introduced very recently, but like I said, this is my second pack because they're a great mix in, kind of like the wood grain papers, right? They're neutral and you can mix them in with lots of different things. So that's what I am going to do with these papers here. So I just thought these will be great for Mexico, even Hawaii. And there doesn't have to be, a turtle in the picture. If you've got turtle pictures, even better, right? But I think they'll just be great for tropical layouts, especially mixed with those woven textures. These are the coordinating little dots here. They're like little hexagon shapes, kind of like little turtle shells, and different greens that go along with this collection. So those are really pretty. Scoot these out of the way here. Now, you guys know me, I cannot resist a good outdoor themed stamp set. I spend a ton of time in the backcountry, hiking, riding horses. We live in a forested area, so I have a lot of opportunities to use stamps like this. It is a clear stamp, and it's called Scenic Adventure. So we have some different types of pine trees here, and some really nice sentiments, but some of these are great for cards, but I will 100% be using these as sentiments on a layout. So you can put journey or adventure in between. So let the journey begin, or let the adventure begin, or just use those as standalone wordy bits on your layout there. So we've got some clouds, trees, and then just breathe and take it slow. It's good advice, right? The coordinating dies, let's see here. I opened the box and looked at everything, but I have not opened all of these. So you have a pair of pine trees, a smaller tree. This is really cool. I don't have anything like this in my stash, so glad to have this. It creates like a border, a little pine tree border. And then there are mountains, actually. Those look like mountains. This looks like a cloud, but these look more like mountains. That could be water. You got flowers. Look at the little set of logs and the fire for a fire pit. And then this looks like it maybe puts like a moon and stars in the sky there. So yeah, like I said, I just can't resist. If there are, depending on your lifestyle, people ask, how do you know, what stamps to get and what not to get? And it really just depends on the type of photos you're scrapbooking. So I tend to collect, I rarely pass up on what I would call like an outdoor adventure stamp. And I scrapbook a lot of travel photos and beach photos too. So those are always ones that I snatch up and add to my collection. But Scenic Adventure. Now this one I thought was cute, but then when I saw them demonstrate different ideas at on stage, I was like, okay, definitely need to have that one. So it is a clear stamp here. We just have some nice sentiments. Just a note, sending warm wishes. You've earned it. Relax and enjoy. Newsflash, you're fabulous. Exclusive, just made for you, and so grateful. A true story. A little hibiscus flower, sun, some water drops. This could be just a scatter splatter stamp, snow, any different thing like that. Now this is super cute. They're little flowers, and you can add patterns to the tote. So the die set is the hero of this Notes and Totes collection here. So it doesn't look like much here. And if you guys come back for my catalog walkthrough, once this is live, and I can show you the cover, but I can't show you what's inside. But when it is live, I will have a full catalog walkthrough, and I will have tons of projects created with these to share with you. So it'll make more sense when you see it as an actual project. But they did some really cool things. It creates this tote bag that you can use at 3D or as an embellishment. This creates like a little wooden fence, water bottle. This is a strap. There's a purse scarf or a little tote scarf. Super cute. I have great ideas for this one, and it's very beachy. So like I said, I do a lot of like beach layouts too. So this will be a nice embellishment cluster on those beach layouts and so much more. They made some like interactive cards where you opened it up and the tote like popped up, and you could have like a gift card in there, or you could even like put the tote's big enough, you could put a Ghirardelli chocolate in there. Really cute. I can't wait to start playing with this little Notes and Totes. But anyway, they took this and stamped it on the actual tote to make it even more like little beachy flowers there. It's super cute. Now this one, I blame my friend Chelsea for. It's 100% a hashtag Chelsea made me do it. So Chelsea, many of you watch her videos, and she's also a creative design team member. She presented at Onstage, which was awesome. She did an amazing job, and I think everybody had to have this after seeing her projects, but it's called Sweet Jar. So this is a stamp. It is also a clear stamp, and which is quite handy because you want to be able to line these things up inside the jar. So there's a punch. You've got the punch and the lid there, the jar and the lid, and then you can fill the jar with different things. So there's hearts and candles, and then clovers, which is particularly cute. This one makes cookies. So that's the base layer, and then these make like chocolate chip cookies. But Chelsea had some great ideas on alternative ways to use this. So I'm going to be recreating those projects and sharing them with you. But very, very cute. And I don't have a lot of like St. Patrick's Day related things. So I was happy to have that in my stash because I'm a St. Patty's birthday. March 17th is my birthday. And so this will be fun for different March, St. Patty's Day themed layouts to create embellishments, or just maybe like a good luck card, things like that. So really cute. I like that you can use this with different seasons, birthdays, and this could be Valentine's Day, St. Patty's Day, and then the cookies, of course. Cookies are year-round appropriate, right? But yeah, like I said, Chelsea just really inspired us all with this one. Now, these are not necessarily new, but they're new to me. I was going to pass on these, and it's a 100% Janice made me do it. You guys tease me about being an enabler. Well, I'm, victim to being enabled too, because I'll pass on something and then someone else does something and I'm like, oh, that's neat. I didn't think of that. So these are mini punches. You can see how tiny those are. And they cut different toppers into, let me grab a piece of paper here. Oh, here's one. So I'm always putting tags on things, and now I can use these different little hole punches to create like a tag topper there. So you have just like a little slit that's plenty wide enough for a ribbon slide. So you could create, one on either side and run a ribbon through there. That would be really pretty. So either use it as a tag, or you can, make a little sentiment spot there. Obviously this is a scrap with my jagged edge there. This one's cute. It's a little bit different. It has a little different character to it. You can see what that looks like. And then of course this is just a 1/8 inch hole punch, which is very handy. So I thought those would be a great little tool to have. And then this one is a oval, which I'm very selective with my punches. I don't get all the punches, but punches that I would use over and over again. This would be great for different sentiments and whatnot. So I thought this one would be nice to have. I love my circle punches too. Those are really handy. Here comes David. He's going to go right over here and get in the box, I'm sure. Hi, David. Are you coming to check out all the new supplies here? yeah, all the things you can sit on. Okay, so this is More Messages stamp set. And okay, Dave's going to be needy. I thought he was going to get in the box, but he's just going to be needy. All right, let me let me pause the camera and hold him for a bit. He's so funny. He can be so needy. So back to our unboxing here. This is the More Messages stamp set. And this is a cling stamp, so it's a red rubber. And they are a collection of really nice sentiments here. So you've got "You're absolutely the best," "Happy birthday," "I adore you," "Good luck," "Forever friends," "You're simply incredible," "Thanks a lot," "Miss you," "Always here," "Hi there," "Way to go," "You can do anything," "Oh happy day," just lots of great sentiments. But oh, here comes Dave again. What I really liked was the coordinating die, and it has all of these, and you can cut them out at once. So it's one solid die. They're all connected, and I think this is going to be so handy because I do this. I have like what I call sentiment spots, and I throw them all in here. Just things that are maybe already stamped, or you know, like here's a little oval. These were left over from paper pumpkin or card kits, and I would just stamp them out in black so that they coordinate easily. And I'm telling you, this is such a game changer when you already have the bits and pieces for your cards. You're much more likely to send those cards out in a timely manner, right? So I love being able to just die cut a bunch of these, and then I can just stamp them with the different sentiments and have those ready to go. So I thought that this was pretty cool. Plus, I like to put wordy bits on my scrapbook layouts, and these make great little interesting spots rather than cutting a strip of paper. We've got ovals and little banners and different things that will be nice for little sentiment spots on my layouts. But these do coordinate with these, so that makes it nice and simple too. You know they're going to fit on those spots. Speaking of sentiments, I have a couple more goodies here. This is a stamp set. It's called Layered Thoughts, and I actually won this at convention. It was a prize. So that I came home with from convention. It's really, really cute. And my goodness, Dave. So love, happy birthday, thank, and thinking. So you can put thinking of you or love you, thank you. You can kind of mix and match. Happy birthday to you. And I like the brush stroke. They're masculine, kind of distressed look, and I think those will be nice for a little variety in my sentiments there. And then we also have these, which kind of like what I was saying, having those little pre-cut sentiment spots. These are pre-punched and stamped. You don't have to do anything. You just kind of grab and go. Little sentiments. And they had something similar in the last catalog. They're called Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera. And you just punch them out and add them to your projects. So these are all white with black font here. And you get a couple different pages for each one. So, or 2 pages for each set. So there's Christmas on here, congratulations, birthday, oh happy day. You could color that one in with a marker to add a little color. And then there's these. Again, these are outlines, so you could very easily color them with those Stampin' Right markers. Lots of good variety there. And then I love this look here with a black background and white writing. This you can achieve with white embossing powder on black cardstock. But that could be kind of time consuming, right? So if you're in a pinch and you want the look, you can just grab the sentiments from here and add them to your cards. So those are really nice to have. Now this is specialty paper. It's called Flower Garden Foils, and you have a silver, a pink, and that's kind of like the strawberry slush. Now on each of them, there's just 2 papers of each. This one has an embossed, like there's tiny little flowers and leaves, very delicate pattern. And then you have this little pattern here. And this would be cool on some masculine layouts too. But I love the foil paper or glitter paper, anything like that, because just a touch of it elevates your project and really gives it that wow factor. A crafty friend recently sent me this card. Her name is Shelly, and I just think it's so pretty. So I'm showing this to you. It's different paper, but the foil, look at how the foiling on the paper and just the embossed gold foil leaves really make this card stunning. So I'll show you the inside too. She wrote her message on a little note and put it inside here, but you have that gorgeous little belly band there, and then this opens up, but you have even more foiled paper on the inside. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And really the paper is doing all of the work. And like I said, just a little bit of foil goes a long way and really just steps up whatever. I mean, this card would be beautiful with any paper, but all that gold foiling and just detailing is absolutely stunning. So I love adding little, bits of papers like this to my projects. Now here's another stamp I got while at convention. It was part of the bundle, so you could get this bundle and do a little crafting while you're there. So I already put it in an envelope. I like to move them to these and add the coordinating die on a magnet. So I'll leave these linked in the description box below. They just save a ton of space. They really do. And I like having the die with the stamp set. Sometimes I keep them separate depending, but if they directly coordinate, I usually put them together. So Impressions of Bloom, and there's layering stamps. You can see this is the detail layer that goes over the base layer. And then the dies are really cool. It was kind of funny in one of the Stampin' Up updates they were doing over on the demonstrator Facebook page. They called these a squoval, which is like a square and an oval. It's like a new trending shape, but the term squoval totally stuck with me, and I am going to have to keep using that. I thought it was quite funny. And kind of like when you combine like a spoon and a fork, it's a spork. Well, now we have a squoval. So we have layering florals here, and you can see that puts the detail in there with the little lines and then the outline. And you have got leaves, lots of different leaves, some stems. I think this will be really fun to create with. I did not make the after hours projects while at convention. I was having way too much fun visiting with people, so I can still make those here now that I'm at home. But that is the one of the new stamp sets. And then we have some bling. So these kind of match the Strawberry Slush. It's called Strawberry Slush in Pretty and Pink Gems. And they have gold in them. They're really, really pretty and sparkly. You can see that there. And then these are the 2025-2027. So the ink colors are around for 2 years. And these are the pearls. They're called flat pearls, and they are flat. They're really nice. So these will go through the mail beautifully. They don't put too much bulk on your scrapbook pages, but you can see they are the ink colors. So let me open these up because you cannot see the one hiding up under the top there. So let's pull those out. And there they are. That's that Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush. Sounds like it'd be a good summertime drink, right? Strawberry slush. But yeah, really pretty, really shiny. We like shiny things, right? Now this is a set where I did order the entire suite. And do I have plans for it? No, I don't care. I just had to have it. You guys, it's that pretty. Actually, I'm kidding around. I do have some ideas for this, but yeah, it is just gorgeous. So here's the paper. It is 6x6, but we have a whole sketchbook showing you how to use 6x6 paper on 12x12 layouts. But you get several of each. There's 4 of each, it looks like, and they are gorgeous. This has a very vintage feel to it. It's pretty. It's beautiful. The colors, this is just my jam, right? So I do think this would lend itself well to vintage photos, and it has a heritage look to it. It's going to make beautiful cards. But yeah, I'm very, very, very inspired by this one. Just romantic florals. Isn't that pretty? I can see that on it. Almost has like a graphic 45 vibe to it, don't you think? Look at this one. Documenting like an old home or black and white photos. Really, really cool. So there's more of just some like landscape type scenery. Isn't it pretty? So lots of different beautiful papers in here. Look at that. Gorgeous. Look at this one. There's another like country saying, would you like to stay there? Yes, please. Sign me up. So on the opposite side, you have just some classic. Oh my gosh, that's so neat. You guys, I haven't opened this. I just opened it. That's beautiful. Some like painterly stripes. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's look on the opposite side of these. Again, do you see that vintage look? Then we've got some black and white florals. More like thick, like plaster type finish to it. Ooh, that's pretty. Really gorgeous. I just want to start creating with this right now. Very excited about this collection. Okay, so let's check out the coordinating stamp sets here. So you can see on that first one what I do with it. We've got this beautiful, I'm going to say roses. They look like roses to me. In this collection, you have these kind of little brass looking bling, again, perfect for vintage. There is a beige ribbon that coordinates with this, so that's very pretty. Let me see if I can get this open. Okay, there is that classic beige ribbon, and they did some neat projects where they actually unraveled it and made like really frilly little fabric tassels, and it looked really neat. You can also color this because it's just a nice neutral color, but the off-white, that beige, does lend itself well to the vintage look. So here are, let me move that. I sometimes leave these open and then they have just enough stick to them. He'll lay on it and put his little orange cat hair everywhere. So we have the Gallery Blooms, which is a clear stamp, and you have these gorgeous florals, and then these are the coordinating dies for this particular stamp set. So let's check these out. Do you want me to hold you? If you guys could see, look, do you see that? He wants me to hold him. This is what he does. He's trying to crawl up on my shoulder right now. David, I'm afraid he's going to bump the camera. Okay, these are the coordinating dies. So they cut out the florals here. You have a die for each of these florals, and then you have some complementary sprigs you can tuck in with those shapes. But that's not all. You have these gorgeous frames. So 2 frames, and there's some more sprigs on the inside and more leaves there. So really pretty. Those frames are going to be neat to use. So I think that's kind of where the whole gallery comes into play, right? Like you have framed pictures. So this is Beautiful Motifs, which is also part of this. Now he's in the box over there digging. He's so funny. Never a dull moment. This is a cool stamp set. So you have, you know, just some nice sentiments, but I think this is neat. It reminds me of that paper, kind of like an old wallpaper. And then of course you have like this squiggle. The dies for this one, they were showing these at the onstage convention, and they cut out, some of them cut partially. So some of them cut out all the way, and I think it was this one they cut partially. So it cuts it into the cardstock and just bits of it lift up. So it's kind of unique in that sense. And then these are great for vintage projects too. So like I said, lots of good ideas. You'll want to subscribe and come back in the beginning of May for my catalog walkthrough, where I show you all of the things that I have made between now and then. Last but not least, in this collection, there is a damask embossing folder. So that definitely goes along with those pattern papers there. So that is a 6x6 embossing folder there. And I think that might be, there's a few more things actually. Let me grab those, clear these out of the way. These are called Celebration Expressions, and they are pocket cards. So I'll explain more about that in just a moment. They gave these to us as part of our, did you hear that? Those are dies being plucked off of my magnetic die board by Dave. Okay, hopefully they won't go far. So we have 4x6, I call these pocket cards. Stampin' Up likes to call them memories and more cards. So if you do pocket scrapbooking, you can just slide these into the pockets, and they're like divided page protectors, and they make for super fast projects. You can also use them to create cards, or you can use them as layering bits to mix in with paper on your scrapbook layouts. So lots of different just fun patterns, all kind of birthday themed, little banners there. And then sometimes these make nice little journaling spots too, like that one. That would be a great little journaling card that you could add. So I brought this box in here. Speaking of pocket cards, when we went to On Stage, Brandy Cox is my upline is Cindy Jackson, and her upline is Brandy. So we're like a family tree. She organized a team event, and the little kits, the boxes come in, make perfect gift boxes. So she put this nice little butterfly on here and decorated the front, and there's a nice little message inside. But while we were there at the convention, she treated us to this lovely lunch and organized the make and take event. So we had a little colorful, they were already pre-designed and they did all the work for us, and we got to put together these cards. And these are primarily using pocket cards, just like these. Not that, but just like these. And you can use them to create fun little cards like this, along with the ephemera, where you just punch out the different sentiments. And that's what we created. And they came together so fast, and they're all absolutely beautiful. So let me put these out. I did kind of switch some of the sentiments on a few of them. Isn't that gorgeous? All from pocket cards. And embossing. This is that painter, I'm forgetting the name of it, but this is the pocket card. This is a pocket card. And then we've got a couple sprigs, some gems, and then the embossing. And you have this fabulous card. Here's another one. These are just so pretty. I love blue and orange. That's one of my favorites. So yeah, look at that. And how fun was it to just sit there and have a nice, it was a taco bar. You can never go wrong with tacos, but it was like our first day at the convention. So it was a great way to kick it off. And Brandy did such a nice job organizing this event. Isn't that one gorgeous? Pine trees, they just have my heart. Thinking of you today. So this is, I do use pocket cards on my scrapbook layouts, but this is one of my favorite ways to use them. And I wanted to share these cards with you because it is such a classic example of how you can put cards together so quickly using those pocket cards. That's one of my favorites too. So simple, right? We've just got a little ribbon, one of those pre-printed sentiments right over the top. Here's a slightly different version. Aren't those pretty colors too? Those are the Thoughtful Journey Memory and More cards. That's what all of these are. Thoughtful Journey. And then the embossing folder is the plaster painting 3D embossing folder. And then it's the Seeing Something Mix and Match ephemera pack, which is what you see here, which is where all of the sentiments came from. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing a full catalog walkthrough at the beginning of May, along with artwork that I have created with all of those fun items I just shared with you. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you soon here on YouTube. Bye.